Today is Halloween. The game is the Goblins Replicade by New Wave Toys. This is a 1/6 scale replica of the Ghosts 'n Goblins arcade machine, which was originally released in 1985 by Capcom and is officially licensed. Included within the unit are two different game ROMs, Ghosts 'n Goblins and Ghosts 'n Ghouls, all for $159.99. The unit measures 12 inches tall by 4.75 inches wide by 5 inches in depth, and it weighs in at 3 pounds. The backside of the device has a speaker, a volume control dial, power switch, tiny faux padlock, high voltage sticker, power LED, 2 USB ports, a USB-C charging port, and a full HDMI port. The front of the device has an illuminated marquee. It has the arcade controls, player 1 and player 2 buttons, joystick, fire and jump button. The joystick features a micro switch ball top, meaning it can be unscrewed and replaced with a different colored top, 4 of which are included in the box. The display is a 4:3 aspect ratio LCD featuring what they are calling CRT-FX 2.0 with reflection reduction tech. It is intended to reduce distortion, glare, and ambient light reflections. The bezel is surrounded by the same artwork which was present in the 1985 arcade model. Down by the simulated coin cage is a button labeled 25 cents on the right, which when depressed will simulate coins being dropped in the cabinet, giving you game credits. This time, New Wave Toys has implemented the feature which will allow you to insert the included mini coins in the left side of the coin box. A really neat touch which I hope continues into their future models. The coin box pops open in order to retrieve your loot. Pressing both the player 1 and player 2 buttons simultaneously will activate a menu, allowing you to change the game options. Here you can switch between the game ROMs, Ghosts 'n Goblins or Ghosts 'n Ghouls, change the difficulty settings, adjust the screen brightness, toggle the marquee light, set the backlight level, toggle the scanline simulation, select starting lives, bonus, and toggle the attract mode audio. The screen also has a tiny battery level indicator. Included with this device is the instruction manual, 12 miniature 1/6 scale coins, 4 replacement micro switch ball tops, a USB-C charging cable, and a faux mini power cable. It does not include an HDMI cable to plug into your television, and you will have to use your own USB charging block. It has professionally reproduced cabinet art printed on high-quality 3M vinyl overlays. It also has what is described as a built-in high-capacity rechargeable battery, which, if it's like the other Replicades, is lithium-ion. One thing about the vinyl artwork on the sides of the cabinet, while I understand they are going for arcade realism, I would have much preferred the artwork to extend the entirety of the cabinet, similar to the Missile Command cabinet. You can connect up to 2 external controllers via the 2 included USB ports. I have tried out several different controller options and will cover that in a short segment at the end of the video. Now I want to take a moment to speak about the gameplay. First off, if you are a fan of the original arcade game, then you will definitely enjoy this. Ghosts 'n Goblins is a game that has many different levels, presenting a serious challenge and an impetus to give it one more try, i.e. it's a quarter muncher. The added ability to plug in the device into your HDMI equipped television and plug in your own controllers raise the bar, yet again, allowing you to play on a much larger display and making it easier for anyone watching along. The unit will save and remember your high score. I appreciate all the attention to detail that New Wave Toys brings to their arcade replicas. This includes the dip switch menu settings and things such as the ability to toggle the scan lines on or off. The audio emanating from the built-in speaker is rich and can fill the room. This particular device includes 2 different games built into one miniature cab. Personally, I prefer Ghosts 'n Goblins over the included Ghosts 'n Ghouls ROM, but I love the fact that both are included. Currently, this device is still available for purchase over at newwavetoys.com/products/Ghosts 'n Goblins X Replicade. Again, this game was meticulously redesigned to a 1/6 scale. The game ROMs are the same ones used in the original arcade games back in the 80s, ensuring it plays exactly the same as the arcade version. The build quality is top-notch. The website describes it as handcrafted from traditional materials including wood, metal, and plastic. It has weight to it. It feels solid, especially as contrasted with similarly sized Basic Fun arcade units. The unit is shipped in Ghosts 'n Goblins branded packaging and is premium as well. All the components are individually packaged, including all the cables, something I have come to respect from New Wave Toys. To me, they went above and beyond with this one, including extra coins, a faux power cable, implementing the coin drop credit ability, and including the additional micro switch ball top color options. Let's not forget, Ghosts and Goblins is a blast to play, and with this New Wave Toys replica, you can play the same game which originally debuted in 1985 in the comfort of your own home, and this time you may even be able to beat it. Highly recommended. In this segment, I wanted to talk about some different various controller options you might be able to use to plug into the back of your Ghosts and Goblins Replicade. The first one I wanted to talk about is this SN30 Pro gamepad, which works perfectly right off the bat as soon as you plug it in. A lot of the modern joysticks or gamepads will work fine, just fine out of the box. This wireless Sega Genesis Big 6 works just fine right out of the box. If you prefer to use a wired controller, this iBuffalo classic gamepad has a wired USB, plugs and works perfectly. I have a no-name kind of knockoff right here that does not work, but I know a trick to make it work, and I'm going to show that in a few seconds here. This Sega Genesis 6-button arcade pad, this is a wired, and it basically looks just like this one. It plugs into Atari consoles as well as the Sega Genesis with this 9-pin cable right here. And if you use something like this Reolink cable, I use this adapter right here to plug into a USB. It doesn't work straight off, but I know a trick to get it to work perfectly. Then on to the classic controller. This is a USB Atari style joystick. Now you really can't use a single button joystick with the game, but it does work. It plugs in and you can control. I believe you can jump, but you can't fire, so you can't do one of the functions. Your standard CX40 joystick does not work properly without some sort of an adapter. And again, it's the same problem with a single button, but I do know a trick to get it to work. There's a controller that came with the 1943 Replicade, and it's a USB controller, and it works perfectly fine with the game. Now, if you didn't have this controller, but maybe you had an adapter, the adapter 2 I was able to get functioning with the unit, but again, you only have that one button, so it's not really an option. Now, I do want to show how I was able to get that working. And I mentioned earlier, this joystick does not really work if you just plug it in and try to use it. So I'm going to do that now. And we'll start a game. All I can do is fire and jump. So the buttons work, but the control doesn't work left and right. However, if you were to plug in any of your working controllers, let's say I plugged in this 1942 or 1943 joystick. Now they say in the instruction manuals, do not do this, so I don't know if it would cause any damage to your device, but all you have to do is plug it in, a working one, unplug it, and then plug in your original controller. I don't know why, but it seems to activate something, and then you can fully control your character. So it's just a little trick there, and I've gotten it to work with this controller and with the Sega wired controller as well. So anyway, that was just a quick thing that I ran into.